The story begins with a scene of a pack of wild beasts in conflict. Because of the existence of magic power in this world, many demons and monsters have been born. Not only that, near an ancient tree there appeared spots of light in various colors. And because of the existence of magic power, some humans have awakened with special abilities. The SSS-Rank Demon King Belphegor of the Five Elements. Here, a group of people is slowly stepping into the dark night. And we are the strongest awakened team in this world. This is the Divine Brigade. Suddenly, a young man with white hair appears in the scene. He says, "My name is Bak D. This is the 10th year I've led the team." Suddenly, a giant monster appeared out of nowhere. It kept roaring loudly. "Our mission is to help the most powerful being known as the God to cleanse the monsters." Immediately after, Bak D gripped his sword tightly and rushed forward. Not only that, he shouted loudly, "Divine Brigade, prepare for battle." This is already the 100th high-level monster we've faced. Right after, Amlak rushed forward following him. She responded excitedly, "Divine Brigade Assassin Amlak Electric System Level L. Understood, sir." Her face now showed excitement she couldn't hide. "Captain, this mission is called the Level L Purge Mission." Even Tulam smiled proudly and said, "Frozen World. Divine Brigade Mage Han Tulam Cloud System Level L Mag." They kept standing behind to support Bak D rushing toward the multicolored ancient tree. Level L is the highest rank. But after completing this, we can rest for a short time. Suddenly, Lucian spoke with a doubtful tone, "Why falling leads the way." Shortly after, the scene was bathed in dazzling light. At the same time, the system's voice kept ringing, "Divine Brigade, reduce chaos." Lucian, commander of the enhanced star system level L, leads the way. Power, plus 200% speed, plus 100% gravity increased 100 times. It seemed all the light here was emitted from Bak D's body, and he just rushed forward so fast in the blink of an eye. Bak D's face had become unusually serious now. He just stood silently in the dazzling light. It seemed nothing around him mattered at all. Destroying 10 directions. Suddenly, the system's voice caught Bak D's attention. "Captain of the Divine Brigade Warrior, Bak D, Level L Sword System Swordsman." Through the thick smoke was his proud image. Others stood nearby but could not steal his spotlight. "The SSS-Rank Demon King Belphegor has been completely destroyed." Suddenly, Tulam stretched and said angrily, "Damn it! It ended so fast again. That's outrageous." Right after, Amlak, standing nearby, quickly replied, "Later, I'll go with you to find some monsters to play with." Even Lucian, standing nearby, couldn't stay silent. He turned toward Bak D and cleared his throat softly. "This mission is rated the highest, and it's special, too. Send the whole team." The two just stood there intently watching the place where a fierce battle had just taken place. "Bak D, don't you think finishing this so easily is too simple?" But meanwhile, he calmly wiped the dirt off his sword. He replied indifferently, "According to report, this Demon King is very special this time, possessing 5 elemental types plus 1 hidden skill." Suddenly, a slender hand reached out to Bak D, along with a clear voice saying, "Hey, Captain." It was none other than Amlak. Her teasing action made him feel embarrassed. His face suddenly flushed red in an instant. "After this is over, there will be a short break. Are you planning to treat everyone to a big feast?" She didn't hesitate to whisper into Bak D's ear, "And our private date, too." Right after, Amlak was harshly pushed away by him. He cleared his throat for effect. "Ahem, yes. Still the same old spot in Chengdu." However, she kept nagging. Still couldn't sneak attack, so annoying. At that moment, Xiaolan didn't hesitate to blame Bai Yi. "You just don't understand women at all." But those words didn't catch his attention. He quietly turned his head. Bai Yi slowly questioned, "Has that guy not arrived yet?" Right after, he received a reply from Lucian. He said, "Went to clean up the aftermath behind." But just now, when fighting Belphegor, he didn't intervene right. And Amlak quickly chimed in, "He's always the one who nags the most. That I know too." Even Xiaolan couldn't stay quiet anymore, but usually he's also the laziest one. In the distance, a figure appeared. That person was closely watching their every move. The man raised his hand to the sky and spoke coldly. "Mission Purge." The mysterious person kept smiling with satisfaction. After stirring up the atmosphere for a while, he made a decision. Activate. In the blink of an eye, Xiaolan, standing far away, was unlucky to be shot through the forehead by a copper pellet. To the shock of those nearby, Bai Yi turned quickly with an angry glare. Amlak was so terrified, her eyes widened in fear. Even Lucy was so frightened she stood frozen, speechless. Only after a while, when Xiaolan lay cold on the ground, did they sober up enough to shout loudly, "Xiaolan!" While Bai Yi was grinding his teeth in anger, a sudden voice rang out. "This is the true mission that the god has bestowed upon me." But his whole body trembled in an instant. Along with a faint voice, his body became immobile. Suddenly, Bai Yi's attention was drawn to a nearby voice as he turned back. In the past month, every meal had been mixed with paralysis powder. In the distance, a large tree trunk was continuously releasing a massive energy. According to the system, it's the forbidden vine god's skill. Suddenly, the god stepped out from it. He said he wanted to wipe out you strongest ones. Along with his voice was the scene of Xiaolan. Amlak and Lucien were tightly wrapped by roots. If you don't prepare the most thorough plan, it won't work. They kept murmuring. I said, what's wrong with you? Took the wrong medicine. What are you doing? Suddenly, the system continuously activated an effect causing enemies to lose consciousness temporarily and lose all defensibility. The god tightened his palm. Then his cold voice rose. This is the god's decree. The Level L Purge mission is to purge all of you. Then came scenes of roots tightening around the hostage's body. This scene made Bai Yi witness in horror and shout loudly, Amlak, Lucien. Not only that, other roots lunged at him at an incredible speed. In the blink of an eye, Bai Yi was tightly wrapped up. This made him extremely angry. His eyes widened in rage, but unfortunately, Amlak was squeezed so hard she spat out a mouthful of fresh blood. Her eyes started turning completely white under the god's control. It seemed everyone was being drained of their life force in a short time. Meanwhile, Bai Yi kept questioning why. It seemed he was extremely furious now. His voice grew louder. Why? Why purge us? The god's army has never crossed the limits before. Bai Yi was consumed by rage, filling his entire mind. His eyes began to fill with hatred. Which god is this? On what basis? He furrowed his brows and loudly questioned, on what basis are you treating us like this? Suddenly the god knelt on one knee. He slowly said, Former captain, are you still that naive? In an instant the god disappeared from the place. In an instant this place was soaked in blood. The voice of Thon kept echoing, I will kill you all. Every life fell under the roots controlled by him. Do I need a reason? Yes, even Bak Di was no exception. He was treated even more brutally. Yet with his last breaths, Bak Di still tried to interrogate the other. What about you? Aren't we teammates? We've been together over 10 years. Haven't we lived like family? Bak Di's words brought a smug smile to Thon's face. He slowly replied with a taunting tone, teammates, family. You still don't understand why I did this. Then's cold words continued to ring out. Cold sweat kept dripping down Bak Di. From the first day we met, Thon had already arranged this pawn. In a flash, Bak Di was released by the roots. At this moment, Thon said, You were always just pawns. He silently watched Bak Di's body grow cold as he kept explaining, to gain your trust. Than pointed at the other with disdain. I staged this play with you for so long. His actions left Bak Di stunned. His eyes widened in horror. I also feel disgusted. Immediately after, a copper bullet pierced Bak Di's brain, ending his life. Not only him, but also the other teammates from the Awakening Team 22-5-21-25 were confirmed dead. The Level L Purge mission was complete. Finally, there could be a break for a while. However, Bak Di was lucky to survive here for now. His body trembled endlessly in the darkness. A mocking, melodious voice caught Bak Di's attention. Hey, this is a deal. His whole body was tightly bound in chains. His voice grew faint. Where is this place? In front of Bak Di now stood the figure of Belphegor. He burst out laughing with delight. Boss, that voice startled Bak Di for a moment. He turned back with a terrified look. You're still confused. You're Belphegor. You're not dead. Then he replied indifferently. Sorry, but how could an SSS-level demon king be old? He hovered in midair with an excited smile. This is my soul space, and the entire Nai Diep kingdom is my true life. Belphegor's words stunned Bak Di speechless. Enough talk, get to the point. I can feel that you, like me, are filled with extreme hatred. Then, in a flash, he transformed into a massive beast, growling non-stop. That's why I want to make a deal with you. My hidden skill is called Life Rewind. However, Belphegor quickly returned to his normal form. He gripped Bak Di's shoulder tightly and said, It can take you back to the distant past and give you a chance to redeem yourself, to change everything. He sneered as he asked, Do you want it? His words made Bak Di fall into deep thought. His eyes slightly lowered. The image of Amlak suddenly appeared in his mind. This caused Bak Di's gaze to waver continuously. Just as he thought of Tulam's bright smile, Bak Di's eyebrows furrowed angrily. Not only that, but also Lucien's indifferent expression. The four of them had journeyed together for a long time. Thinking of this, Bak Di was completely overwhelmed by rage. His eyes narrowed thoughtfully. He couldn't help but recall Thon's mocking smile and the tragic images of his teammates' deaths. With that thought, Bok D quickly made his choice. I want to kill him. Also, the images of mysterious figures and that arrogant Than lingered in his mind. Belphegor's mocking smile was deeply imprinted in Bok D's mind. He showed no surprise and said, "Oh, your answer was expected. That's enough. Then I will help you this one time." Bok D quickly became serious and questioned, "But why do you want to trade with me, and what is the price?" However, he did not answer him, but only smiled excitedly. Everything passed like that. A clear voice kept ringing, making Bok D open his eyes. Bok D, don't sleep any longer." Facing him was Miss Hoang, who irritably shouted, "Hey Bok D, sit up quickly. Give me 2 105 moves, a vassal move of the Holy Ha Kingdom Middle School awakened person." These words shocked Bok D. He couldn't help but mutter suspiciously, "Have I really gone back?" He slowly looked at his palm. Bok D still couldn't believe what he was witnessing. He kept asking himself, did I really go back before awakening? 2 105 moves of the Holy Ha Kingdom Middle School vassal awakened person. Miss Huang, with a fierce face like Thunder God, loudly scolded Bok D. "Usually cheating in class is ignored, but you transferred early this afternoon and then still overslept. Go stand at the back. Give it to me." Terrified by her aura, Bok D quickly called Miss Hoang. He stared at his hand in astonishment, shocked by the unbelievable truth. "Have I really gone back to middle school?" He anxiously doubted silently. "So I really have been reborn. This is Belphegor's power." Bok D passed by his classmates with genuine shock and amazement. He frowned suspiciously, observing around. "Unbelievable, these classmates I haven't seen in nearly 25 years. Miss Huang slammed the desk on the podium to grab attention. "Let's continue class, everyone get focused. Give it to me." At this moment, she began concentrating on teaching. There are 5 elemental powers in the world: electricity, flower, cloud, core, and star. Bok D stood below, seriously listening to her lecture. Each person can only absorb one type of element. Miss Huang demonstrated a bit of power in her palm as an example. She showed a proud, smug face and boasted, "Like me, the element I possess is the rarest type of cloud." She continued in depth. After reclaiming power and combining elements with each person's body differently, we are divided into 3 categories: combat type, functional type, and special type. Because the 5 elemental powers combine with different positions, many different professions are born. The symbols of the elemental types gradually took clearer shape through her words. The strongest guild group in our school is a combination of a star mage, cloud warrior, core spellcaster, and electricity assassin. Miss Hoang shifted the topic to the students below. She knew to stand out among hundreds of millions of awakening potentials, they had outshone others since childhood, surrounded by praise and brilliance. She carefully warned with a fierce face, "But today is the most important day for you all, the awakening of your profession." As known, there are nearly 100 professions divided into 4 qualities from lowest to highest: green, blue, red, and yellow. Miss Huang smiled cruelly, emphasizing, "And each of you only have one chance to awaken your profession." She loudly called out, "This afternoon is the moment to decide your profession." Bok D silently focused on her declaration. "It will determine your future position in this world." A while later, he walked around the school feeling nostalgic. So nostalgic. Bok D looked around calmly. "This is where I first awakened." He was surprised to see a boy painfully fall flat on the ground. The boy with glasses, someone appearing behind him, made a disdainful sound. "What?" Kwang Thing and his gang arrogantly mocked the boy. A bunch of trash who only rely on external awakening. He stepped hard on the boy's hand with disgust. "And you dare block my way? You think you're about to awaken and so you don't care about anyone." Hong Kwang Thing looked at the boy with an arrogant, cruel gaze. "A rare red profession awakener like me means you will always be just my underlings." Hong Kwang Thing E-rank assassin background. Bok D wondered about the school bully. The boy with glasses fearfully handed over money. "Please, I'm sorry, it's my fault." He was satisfied. That's better. He cautiously recalled frequent conflicts with classmates in his previous life. Bok D self-confessed with the information he had. He seems to have pathological jealousy, roaming over people and liking to cause trouble for no reason. Miss Huang appeared just in time to stop him. "That's enough, Hong Kwang Thin." She loudly reminded, "This is a school. Are you trying to rob someone?" Kwang Thing still laughed mockingly, making a sound that could be taken as a greeting. He arrogantly justified, "Miss Huang, did she walk without looking and bump into us?" He boastfully waved a stack of money in front of her to provoke, so compensating each of my brothers with a cup of milk tea isn't too much, right? Kwong Thing threatened with force. You want to stand up for the students. Just because he saw she had some beauty, he would have kicked her out of school long ago. Do you believe that Miss Huang? Gently supporting the glasses-wearing kid, she asked, Han, are you okay? He laughed loudly, mocking, Let's go, let's give her some face, just let it slide. Suddenly he glanced and noticed a presence. Bak Di calmly stood in front of him, blocking his path. Kwong Thin slapped him hard on the shoulder. What are you looking at? He aggressively pushed him backward. Move aside. We'll come back later to see how this bunch of wannabes laugh. The glasses-wearing kid sobbed. Sorry, miss, it was my carelessness. Miss Huang gently comforted. It's not your fault. Bak Di silently judged Miss Huang to be a typical teacher who speaks harshly, but is kind-hearted. She also helped me a lot back then after I awakened. Someone from afar suddenly called, startling them. Miss Huang, it's the students' turn to enter the awakening room. Miss Huang returned to assist and instructed the students. Everyone remember, when you step into the moment of awakening, you must keep your mind as clear as possible to avoid harm. Bak Di blended into the crowd, lost in his own thoughts. There are two types of awakening in this world. His face turned dark and cold as he thought about one type which is natural, like Hong Kwong Thin's. He recalled the scene when he awakened. It often occurs in people with strong physical constitution and talent. At moments of extreme emotional surge, they naturally awaken. Bak Di immersed himself in his own space. Besides, there's also the usual way, the awakening space room inside the awakening chamber. A student was confused by the elements here. This is the crystallization of the intelligence of countless scientists. He trembled painfully after stepping into the space. The emotions and adrenaline of humans stimulate the elemental power sources surrounding him. This helps potential people to awaken. He panicked as he found an element covering the whole body of the mage system. But since each person can only awaken once randomly, that student came out with a joyful face. I have awakened the blue-grade profession, a very good rank. Miss Huang came over from afar to congratulate. Not bad. You should go rest over there, you must be exhausted. Bak Di quietly passed by him with determination. Therefore, the awakening of professions is considered the only chance to restart one's fate. His name was called right then, Bak Di. He stepped in coldly. After him, the next person was you. Miss Huang sternly advised with concern, pay attention a bit. Don't act like you're in the classroom. You must focus. Do you understand? Bak Di confidently said to her. I have my own plan. Bak Di silently recalled the past situation. In my past life, I awakened as a B-grade warrior system. This is a profession with a medium green quality. That's why I was often bullied by others. Bak Di looked forward to entering inside. Later, when advancing to S-Rank, he could awaken the rarest type. His mind was full of questions about the awakening elements. Right now, my body probably has the nuclear system element. So this time, which profession will I awaken? Bak Di's whole body tensed up, unconsciously motionless. He anxiously waited, not taking his eyes off the swirling elements. Suddenly, mechanical sounds rang out. Awakening system detected an error. Bak Di panicked, looking at the huge power flowing into his body. 5 types of elements were detected. He clutched his chest, confused. What's going on? The heat inside the body. The sound of machinery rang out again, terrifying him. The infinite awakening system activated. A grand virtual screen appeared explaining an unprecedented privilege. Because your body contains 5 elements, you can choose any element or any profession as your initial profession. Bak Di continued to freeze as the system delivered another sweet shock about the possibility of acquiring new professions in the future. At the same time, once a certain element has accumulated enough, you can choose to receive a new random profession for that element. Still stunned, he inadvertently shouted in confusion but also excitement, Wait a minute, what does this mean? What does this mean? Accumulate elements. Standing alone in the magical space, Bak Di couldn't help but think about the glorious future. In other words, I can not only choose the element and profession that I have awakened to, but later I can also receive other new professions. The shimmering mystical profession cards appeared before his eyes. Among them was a special royal card that made him exclaim in amazement, You can get green, blue, red, yellow colors with all kinds of qualities, even a profession with such special qualities. Suddenly the system announcement sounded, That's right, but you can only choose the initial profession. The subsequent professions will be received randomly and unexpectedly. Belphegor appeared. He extended his hand with 5 elemental symbols floating above and declared with authority, Then let me help you once. He felt power surging through his body. Bak Di realized the gift the other had just granted him, a perfect new beginning. He couldn't help but think silently, so this is what he brought me. A mighty golden dragon appeared from the energy flow, signaling the power of infinite awakening. Bhakti just stood there with a serious face. Suddenly, the system announcement rang out. After choosing the initial profession, all element bars will be erased. With a meaningful smile, he seemed to have made up his mind after the reminder, please choose carefully. Meanwhile, outside, a crowd was waiting, and Kim Vu was showing impatience. He muttered, "Why is it taking so long in there?" Suddenly, Kwang Thin next to him exclaimed in surprise, "I'm finally out." Finally, Bhakti's figure appeared. Miss Hoang immediately stepped forward to ask, "What profession did you awaken, sir?" Hearing this, he just hung his head with a disappointed expression and said, "I'm really sorry to disappoint you." Suddenly, Bhakti raised his head with a sly smile. Surrounded by a blue-green aura, he declared, "I awakened the nuclear system warrior with the worst green quality." Hearing the result, Miss Huang's smile froze for a moment, clearly disappointed. "Oh, is that so?" Nevertheless, she tried to comfort her student with sincere encouragement. "It's okay. Even if it's green quality, many extraordinary talents have been born with it. As long as you don't give up, this world won't disappoint you." Feeling a bit overwhelmed by her enthusiastic consolation, Bhakti awkwardly replied, "You don't have to comfort me. You know I'm definitely not stable inside." However, Miss Huang was still perceptive and suggested, "You should go rest. Awakening must have consumed a lot of your energy." At that moment, a gleeful voice kept sounding. He thought the witch was laughably dead. Kwang Thin did not miss the chance to mock. He mimicked Miss Huang's words with a mocking tone and provocative eyes directed at Bhakti. "As long as you try, this world won't disappoint you. I remember the teacher is very competent. So how could she say such useless and toxic chicken soup nonsense?" However, he just quietly glanced at him, a sharp look like a knife signaling an inevitable confrontation. Miss Huang, so she also turned to look with a serious expression, seemingly sensing the rising tension. Meanwhile, Kwang Thin's voice kept echoing, "Miss, do you know?" He and his gang burst into arrogant laughter. The reality simply wasn't like that. Kwang Thin pointed directly at Bhakti's face and spat out insults without any mercy. "The green quality means you're the lowest class." He then whispered into his ear, "This world is exactly like that. The gods will choose people. They only choose the strong, while the weak can only be humiliated." Hearing this, Bhakti just sneered, repeating the word mockingly, "God." Kwang Thing saw the atmosphere grow increasingly tense, and Miss Huang tried to intervene. "Why are you here again?" Right after, Kwang Thin didn't hesitate to reply to her, "Of course understand. The green profession means from now on, you can only sit in the last row to listen to the lecture." "Why is that?" Hearing that both Miss Hoang and Bhakti stood there with unhappy expressions. But meanwhile, Kwang Thin continued lecturing with a smug smile. "Society is exactly like that. Those without ability, without background, and without a future will always be at the back and abandoned by fairness." An illustration appeared showing students clearly ranked by the color auras they had. The strong can get better resources and will become even stronger, while the weak green quality ones will suffer a tragic fate from the moment they awaken and can only become low-level janitors among the awakened. Kwang Thing ended his speech with a self-satisfied smile and a bitter mockery. He thinks that working hard can change a person's life. Green quality becoming a genius. Who would believe that nonsense? Miss Hoang lowered her head with sadness shown in her eyes. "It's like when a person is born, their future life is already decided. Our awakened school is just a miniature world." Kwang Thin was unfazed, even stepping closer to her and challenging. "He thinks what he says is undeniable truth. Isn't this reality a green profession is honestly just a useless person who eats and teaches at school?" Then he turned to Bak Dai and splashed a cup of water in his face, sending him home to avoid wasting government resources. "Green quality, hurry home. The sooner the better. Don't waste government resources anymore." Instead of getting angry, he gently crushed the cup with one hand, splashing all the water straight into his opponent's face. This instantly turned him from smug to soaking wet and stunned. Kwang Thin's face was a masterpiece of shock. He couldn't believe he had just been soaked unexpectedly. Kwang Thing was furious at being embarrassed in front of everyone, roaring with anger. "Damn it, what the hell did you do?" Meanwhile, Bhakti calmly brushed off his hand and replied with a short, contemptuous sentence, "Don't want to hear you talk." His calmness infuriated Kwang Thin even more, who laughed wildly and cursed, "Your mother's crazy." He rushed forward with a purple energy fist, intending to teach Bok D a lesson for daring to challenge him. "You dog?" Witnessing this, Miss Huang panicked and thought, "Oh no." Suddenly, the system announced Assassin System normal attack combo activated, attack power increased. Meanwhile, Kwang Thin kept shouting, "You want to die?" However, Bok D's golden eyes flashed a sharp, cold light. He showed no fear at all, gently raising his sword using a parry. This completely stunned Kwang Thin, who couldn't understand why his full power attack was blocked so easily. His expression changed from shock to extreme confusion, realizing the person in front of him was not as weak as he thought. With a gentle movement, Bok D not only neutralized the attack, but completely unbalanced Kwang Thin. His face remained calm but powerful, showing a clear difference in level. A strong counterforce threw Kwang Thin far away. He flew past the stunned crowd, knocked back a long distance, leaving an impressive and humorous trail. At this moment, Kwang Thin fell flat on the ground, coughed up a mouthful of blood, and could only utter a painful groan. His proud face was now replaced with pain and humiliating defeat. Meanwhile, Bok D still stood firm in the schoolyard, surrounded by a golden aura. This made Miss Huang reflect. He looked around, pretending to be clueless about what just happened, a brilliant act to hide his true strength. "What's going on?" Kwang Thin's accomplices were no better, only stammering to each other. What just happened in that terrifying moment? What happened? How did he do it? Bok D's white sword still radiated a brilliant light, a testament to the extraordinary power it held. He slung the sword over his shoulder with proud flair and declared, "I chose this profession myself." Suddenly, the system announced light sword equipped for warrior class attack, +20 evasion, +20. With a confident smile, Bok D simply explained his reason, "Because I'm used to it." At that moment, Kwang Thin was struggling to get up, refusing to accept defeat, shouting, "You just got lucky dodging a bit." He flexed to show off his rare red profession to save face. "I have a rare red profession totally different from your lousy low-class one." However, Ms. Huang noticed something unusual and pondered, "No, just now it can't have been luck." She stood there stunned, thinking about the special skill he had just used. What he used was the top-tier unique warrior profession skill called Weapon Technique. Earlier, Bok D had used it skillfully. At the moment of receiving the strongest attack, it blocks the damage. Not only that, his face showed an unusual calmness. At the same time, within 0.09 seconds, it surpasses reaction limits and reflects physical damage back to the opponent. Weapon Technique, when timed perfectly to block an attack, can eliminate 100% of the damage within 0.09 seconds. There's a chance that physical damage will be completely reflected back to the attacker. This is a move my master has been practicing for 10 years, but is still not fully proficient in. He is someone who just fully awakened and has no combat experience. Meanwhile, Bok D stood there with an expressionless face. How could he possibly do that? Refusing to lose, Kwang Thin summoned his weapon and charged in for another attack. He shouted, "Are you ready to die?" Suddenly, his system announced the assassin profession's rules attack +30 speed +30. He kept insulting, swearing he'd embarrass Bok D in front of everyone present. "You useless trash. I'll make you crawl in front of everyone." However, Bok D paid no attention to his opponent's actions. Choosing the seemingly weakest profession obviously had its own reasons. Bok D stood there small in stature, but with the demeanor of a grown man. From birth, a person's fate and future life or death are already determined. It takes many years before people realize this was a serious mistake. His system gave another notification using weapons to block and eliminate over 50% of damage depending on timing and judgment. Weapon Technique, when timed perfectly to block an attack, can eliminate 100% of the damage within 0.09 seconds. There's a chance that physical damage will be completely reflected back to the attacker. The atmosphere grew increasingly tense. A voice suddenly rang out, "Are they not done fighting yet?" The crowd around began buzzing with chatter. The school strictly forbids using awakened powers to fight. Besides, how many people are actually here at the scene right now? Kwang Thin stood there with a smug smile. He kept boasting Kwang Thin's grandfather is a high-ranking official and his uncle is the school principal. Meanwhile, Bok D's family is poor with no background at all. This scared the bespectacled classmate. He stammered, "If you accept this challenge and fight here, you'll get expelled, miss. What should we do?" But Ms. Huang remained silent, not responding to him. After a moment, she stepped forward gently. "Everyone here just awakened recently, so in the future you might become teammates. Let's not get worked up. Let's stop here." However, Kwang Thin didn't listen at all. He snapped repeatedly. "What are you joking about? That guy just rudely challenged me and you want me to stop just like that?" Not only that, he pointed his weapon at the other side with a smug smile and said, "Even if he kneels and begs for mercy now, it won't matter. I'll show him the difference between the chosen and the losers." That smile became more and more hypnotic, yet full of excitement and unbridgeable gap. Kwang Thing's expression startled her, a brief moment of awkwardness. She couldn't help but ponder, that's right, the difference in quality is huge. It lies precisely in the difference in attributes. On Bak D's system screen suddenly appeared a series of information. Bak D Level 1 Rank, E Profession Soldier Core System Attribute 5. Heavy plus 100% power, 53 force, 61 S power, element 8 speed, 41 insight, 26 elemental power, 11 skill, quick path. This made him quietly amused as he thought, the additional attribute of green quality is 100%, meaning it remains unchanged. Even Ms. Huang began to fall into a thoughtful silence. Meanwhile, the same profession with blue quality is 150% and with red quality it's 200%. Meanwhile, Kwang Thin's system displayed the following lines. Hong Kwang Thin Level 1, Rank E Profession Assassin, Star System Attribute 5, Heavy plus 200%, Power 62, X2, Force 22, X2, S, Power 10, X2, Elemental Power 75, X2 Speed 21, X2, Insight 10, X2, Elemental Power, Skill, Backstab, Violence. He kept staring coldly at Bak D, thinking, at the moment of awakening, all red profession attributes will be double those of the green profession. This power gap can never be overcome. His seriousness caught the attention of the bespectacled friend beside him. Regardless of current strength or background strength, Bak D was completely crushed by the opponent. He kept adjusting his glasses silently, judging, are you that free to go and offend someone stronger than you? Trash like that is really detestable. The bespectacled friend seemed to notice the strange looks from those around. But if you want to survive in such a chaotic society, you have to learn to stay away from trash. Images of Kwang Thin trampling him quickly flashed through his mind. When he couldn't avoid it, Kwang Thin even forced the bespectacled friend to offer items. You have to learn to be humiliated. These things became an indelible obsession in the bespectacled friend's mind. Only flexibility can ensure long-term survival. Direct confrontation is the stupidest choice. Back in reality, Kwang Thin kept rushing toward the opponent with a devilish smile at the corner of his mouth. What awaits you is only a greater humiliation. His system reported violence power plus 32%, critical hit plus 20%, lifesteal plus 15%. At that moment, Ms. Huang shouted without hesitation, Bak D, be careful! However, he stood there calmly. He couldn't help but wonder, should I block it? But the skill Quick Path consumes a lot of force. Hong Kwang Thin's attack is very strong. Moreover, the speed is too fast. A thought suddenly flashed in Bak Tiu's mind. This time he couldn't block it. Kwang Thing appeared in front of him without him noticing. He shouted loudly, let's see where you can run this time. This only excited Bak D more. He smiled gleefully, thinking, run! He kept asking himself why he should run at all. Just as Bak D dashed forward, his system issued an urgent alert. Speed will increase by 50% for a short time. Level up standards relate to reaction and proficiency. In an instant, he vanished from Kwang Thin's sight, leaving him stunned. This is the shield smile technique. When speed reaches 100%, the flash effect can be triggered to bypass obstacles ahead. He said in horror, since when? Kwang Thin's face grew uglier by the second. He automatically ran behind his own back. Then he spat out a mouthful of black blood. Kwang Thin collapsed like that. Meanwhile, Bak D couldn't help but curse silently, trash. Then a satisfied smile appeared on his lips. Should be thrown in the trash. Witnesses quickly began gossiping. Did you see what just happened? No, it looks like Hong Kwang Thin fell on his own. What happened? Did he slip? But the boy with glasses couldn't help but laugh and blurt out, why did you fall like that? Meanwhile, fear was written all over Miss Huang's face. She couldn't help but mutter, this time I still can't clearly see what happened. Even Jich Nam began to fall into a thoughtful state. The images from earlier when Kwang Thin charged at Bak D and was continuously defeated kept flashing through her mind. At the moment Hong Kwang Thin attacked, he once again activated the rapid skill unique to professional warriors. Moreover, that rapid skill is a high-level form of the shielding flash when speed reaches 100%, triggering a flash effect that can bypass obstacles ahead. So what did he do next? At this moment, Kwang Thin was struggling to stand while Bak D barely noticed him. What was it about that moment that caused the opponent to get injured? But did he really defeat the opponent easily with just one move? Shitngam kept watching this scene and gave her personal opinion. Bak D not only masters the basic warrior skills perfectly, but also harmonizes and applies them in real combat. Even in a split second, he can still make careful considerations. Class President Shitngam Bak D stood there with a serious expression. Meanwhile, whispers kept spreading around, "What's going on? What's wrong with Hong Kwang Thin today? The other side didn't do anything right. So embarrassing." Shitngam continued to ponder, if it's not violating the school's ban in front of everyone, then what exactly happened to Bak D? Bak D's system suddenly displayed a new message experience. Increased gained 50 professional experience points. Level 1 experience. 50 out of 100 elemental accumulation gained 50 points, thanks to inflicting severe damage on an opponent with E-grade elemental refinement. This made him excited and think silently, just as I guessed. Using fighting skills before profession can accumulate experience for the profession. Defeating an elemental opponent will also earn elemental points. Suddenly, Bak D sighed wearily. But 50 points is really too little. Looks like I need to grind some dungeon runs quickly. Meanwhile, Kwang Thin was struggling to clutch his throat. He almost spat out each word, "Don't break down on me," immediately after he grabbed the sword beside him. Kwang Thin tried to rush toward the opponent at an incredible speed, thinking, "I'm going to kill you." Suddenly, a loud voice rang out, stopping his action. "Enough!" The one who arrived was Hong Luong, the head of the Awakening Academy's middle school division. He cleared his throat and said, "Haven't you made enough of a fool of yourself yet?" Seeing him, Kwang Thin made a resentful face and spoke up. Meanwhile, Bak D couldn't help but judge this person as... However, Hong Luong paid no attention to what Kwang Thin said. He sternly reminded everyone, "Everyone is already tired from Awakening today, so stop standing here watching the show. Luckily, today is the weekend, so everyone should go home early to rest." Those present quickly dispersed. Around here now, people went to report their Awakening profession status to their family members. His words caused Bak D's mind to explode. He briefly thought about going home. Suddenly, Hong Luong's cold gaze swept over him. He sternly said, "You too. Do you know the school strictly forbids these things?" This made Bak D silently think, is it because I just reincarnated that I had no reaction in the blink of an eye? He unconsciously clutched his head, his face full of panic. Thoughts rapidly flashed through his mind. If I've gone back 25 years, then all of them are still alive. On the Awakening date, June 22nd, 2105, something else also happened. Bak D showed no reaction to this. Hong Luong didn't hesitate to call out loudly, "Hey!" His words forced him to deal with the person on the spot. He briefly thought, "Damn, how could I forget this?" However, Bak D had no intention to respond. He turned and ran away from there, telling himself, the most important thing. This action startled Hong Luong. He shouted loudly, "Hey, kid!" Even Miss Hoang, standing nearby, was very surprised by Bak D's action just now. Suddenly, Hong Luong turned to her and loudly scolded, "Control your students. Today I'll pretend nothing happened and won't pursue it." Hearing this, Miss Hoang could only bow and admit her fault. "I'm sorry." Time quickly passed. At this time, Kwang Thin was standing in a luxurious room. He couldn't help but angrily curse out loud, "Damn it! If that brat isn't unlucky, there's no way I would lose to him." Suddenly, Hong Luong slammed the table and shouted loudly. It made Kwang Thin jump in shock and babble nonsense. He repeatedly warned the other party. "Do you know what that kid opposite you did? The moment you rushed right in front of him." The images from earlier kept flashing in Hong Luong's mind. He had used the high-level skill Thuan Shim. That was the bloody scene between Kwang Thin and Bak D. He emphasized, but more importantly, before he disappeared. Right at the moment before they collided, he found the weakest spot on your body, delivered an extremely powerful strike that completely broke your defense. Hong Luong's words terrified Kwang Thin. He momentarily didn't know how to respond properly. These moves use the maximum basic skills of a warrior, but even with 15 years of battlefield experience, you might not be able to use it as skillfully as this. But in this battle, he was knocked out by his opponent Bak D in the blink of an eye. Their fight was like a pro using basic moves to mess with a top-level elementary student. However, Bak D at this moment dashed forward like being chased by a ghost down a gloomy street. This kid is not as simple as you think he thought while running. If so, after reincarnation besides revenge, there are still things I need to do. Suddenly, Bak D's steps faltered. Then he unconsciously gasped for breath, exhausted. A stream of thoughts continuously filled his mind. That's the matter. Violent and bloody images kept appearing in Bak D's memory. He seemed about to collapse whenever recalling that terrifying story. However, Bak D's eyes were full of determination as he stared straight ahead. Even if I die, I must stop this from happening. His system brought the following notifications. Bak D, Level 1 Grade E Warrior Profession. Core System Attribute, 5 Heavy, plus 100% Strength, 53 Force, 61 S Elemental Power, 8 Speed, 41 Insight, 26 Elemental Power, 11 Skills, Rapid Level Advancement. In a short time, speed will increase by 50%. Level up standards relate to reaction and mastery of Thuanshim. When speed reaches 100%, a flash effect can be activated to overcome obstacles ahead. Quang Thin's system was no less impressive. Hong Quang Thing. Level 1 Grade, E Assassin Profession, Spirit System Attribute 5 Heavy, plus 200% Strength, 62x2 Force, 22x2 Elemental Power, 10x2 Speed, 75x2 Insight, 21x2 Elemental Power, 10x2 Skills Backstab Violence. 22, 5, 2105, 1807. A man was leaning on the sofa watching TV. A man named Lin Sin is watching TV and laughing loudly. Laughing to death. From outside the window, you can see the guy comfortably sitting on the sofa enjoying himself. Meanwhile, his wife Nu Vun is diligently washing a pile of dishes in the sink. Bak D stands outside the window, not rushing to enter the house. After a while, he opens the door and walks in. Lin Sin sees his son come in and just goes, "Oh, you're home already." Bak D just stepped in and his hand clenched into a fist. He still pretends to care. "Why did you get out of school early today?" Earlier, he stood silently outside the door watching her. As soon as he saw Nu Vun, a tear escaped the corner of his eye. Mother Bak D smiles at her. Standing in front of her, he feels lucky inside. It's really good that Mom is still alive. He walks over to where she's washing the dishes. Seeing him come, Nu Vun makes a sign. She smiles and uses sign language to speak to him. "Mom made you the spicy and sour noodles you like." Bak D presses his lips tightly, trying not to cry. He forces a smile and says to Nu Vun, "Mom, today I want to eat sour fish soup." She uses sign language to refuse this request. "Go tomorrow." Today, Mom already prepared the spicy and sour noodles. But Bak D remains determined. "Mom, please go now. I really want to eat it today." Wiping his hands quickly on his apron, she turns away, smiling stubbornly. Sign language really can't get through to you. Nu Vun pushes the door, about to go to the market. Seeing that Bak D immediately insists. "Please let me go with you, Mom. Let me go with you." Lin Sin, who had been silent, finally speaks. "One mom is enough to go alone." He looks at him with a tone full of dissatisfaction. "What's wrong with you today, kid? You're home, but don't even bother to greet your dad." He stands up from the sofa and asks, "Isn't today your awakening day?" His hand leans against the wall. His eyes look at Bak D full of expectation. "Hurry and tell your dad some good news." He casually grabs a bottle of wine sitting on the table. Above his head appears information. Name Bak Lin Sin, Level 26. Profession Soldier, Electric System Ability Attribute, plus X, 400%. Lin Sing holds 2 bottles of wine, looking down from above. "I got off work early and came home just to congratulate you." Bak D's face shows no emotion as he replies, "I missed it. I didn't awaken today." He mumbles, explaining the reason. "Today was unlucky. The awakening took too long, so it still wasn't our turn." After hearing this, Lin Sin's face darkens. He questions him. "Then why did you come home early today?" The son of the Great Thunder said he awakened a blue profession. Both father and son are useless. Bak D is stunned silent. The guy boasts about himself. "My son Bak Lin Sin at least must be someone with a red profession. Back then I had no conditions but still awakened a red profession." He steps forward slowly in front of Bak D. His voice sounds like it comes from hell. "Now struggling to make money to support you, your dad has put all his effort into you." Lin Sing steps face to face with him. The red power source bursts forth fiercely. "Tell me, what is your profession?" His eyes blaze red like a beast. He looks down at Bak D as if wanting to kill him. He hesitates while explaining, "I still haven't yet." Before Bak D can finish, he slams the bottle in his hand straight into his head, causing the wine inside to splash everywhere. Lin Sing looks at him with eyes like he wants to strangle him. He can't accept that he's not what he expected. "Green!" Lin Sin yells angrily in his face. "What have you been pretending to work hard at school for all day? Why did you awaken a useless green profession? You trying to embarrass me, Bak D?" Silent, looking up at his crazy father. This man is an awakener. His father, and also a violent man who cannot control his emotions like Vaughn, happily carrying a plate of food over. "It's been too long. I almost forgot what happened on Awakening Day, May 22nd, 2105 in the previous life." Lin Sin, without hesitation, started throwing punches and kicks at Bak D. After he found out he was a green awakened feeling humiliated, he had a big fight at home. Van rushed over using sign language to beg for him, but Mom stood in front to protect him as usual, ignoring her. The guy still lifted the chair to hit. At that time, I was too weak, too scared. He lifted the chair without hesitation, aiming it at her, beating her for an hour before he was satisfied. Bak D looked at her, his whole body covered in wounds, lying helplessly on the ground. That day, Mom broke her leg and was hit hard on the head, causing her to develop mental illness. Bak D couldn't do anything and cried to release his frustration and pain. Lin Sing looked at him kneeling on the ground, stepped closer, and above his head appeared the info Bak D Level 1 Rank, E. Hotch System Soldier Profession. Heavy attribute with 100% extra strength. 53 power, 61 S7 elemental strength, 8 speed, 41 insight, 26 elemental strength, 11 rapid path skills. As for me, I have only awakened as an E-rank Hotch system soldier. Even if he wanted to fight back, he had to endure helplessly. Although this profession was chosen for its special traits, it still needed time. Bak Lin Sing looked at him, suffering on his knees, and ordered, "Get up." Bak Dai looked up and immediately met his gaze. His character info appeared name Bak Lin Sin. Level 26, rank C. Electric System Soldier Profession. Ability attribute increased by x 400%. Strength 600, 150 x4 speed, 508 100, 27 x4 power, 600 year 2, 100, 6, 3 x4 insight, 100, 6, 4, 41 x4 elemental strength, 40, 41 x4 mental strength, 32, 8 x4 rapid path skills. Besides, he had a pink C-rank profession. Lin Sing stretched his hand out in front of Bak D. He was still evaluating the guy completely different from Hong Kwang Sin at school. This man had plenty of real combat experience. He put his dirty hand on his head, voice full of regret. "I really was wrong, Bak D." He told himself to endure. Right now he couldn't win against him. He grabbed his hair, cursing nonstop. "I shouldn't have let your mother give birth to you." He didn't resist letting him do as he pleased. Today he waited for me at home early, and he wouldn't stop until he saw results. Lin Sing slapped him hard, so I absolutely can't let Mom stay here. Not stopping there, he continued to punch Bak D right in the face. He wasn't afraid. Inside, he even felt lucky at least he had gotten Mom out of there. 2 bags dropped to the floor with a thud. Bak D heard the noise and fearfully turned his head to look. Van just came back from the market, horrified at the sight of her husband abusing her son, the bag still lying on the floor untouched. Bak D raised his head in fear, not understanding why she came back right now, why she returned so quickly. Could it be Mom came back for me? Van hurried home holding the bags. She couldn't let him starve. Her face was suddenly terrified. Lin Sin seemed to be waiting for her return. "You're back." He approached from above, looking down at her with contempt and disgust. "Let's see what kind of trash you gave birth to for me." The system displayed info for both Bak D Level 1 Rank E, Hotch System Soldier, Heavy Attribute with 100% extra 7 Strength, 53 Power 61 S, Elemental Strength, 8 Speed, 41 Insight, 26 Elemental Strength, 11 Rapid Path Skills. Character info name: Bak Lin Sin, Level 26, Rank C. Electric System Soldier, Ability Attribute, increased, XX 400%. Strength, 600, 150, XX4 speed, 508, 100, 27, X4 power, 600 year 2, 100, 6, 3x4 insight, 100, 6, 4, 41 x4 elemental strength, 40, 41 x4 mental strength, 32, 8 x4 rapid path skills. In the dark prison, a voice echoed, "I heard you're the first to evolve the green profession. Normally, this profession must at least be blue in rank A to enter the evolution stage." The other guy, hands chained, asked curiously, "But why did you evolve so early?" He smoked a half-burnt cigarette which changed from green to platinum 1 in a million. He looked at Bak D, bowing his head, and ordered, "Tell me, why were you thrown in here? Only death row inmates are allowed in here." His voice was dry. "He deserves to die. How could he have beaten Mother to death like that?" Bak Dai's face became resolute, fearless now. Lin Sin glanced at him, waving his fan. A thick, murky smoke headed straight toward Van. The whole room was filled with dense dust and smoke. Blood was streaming down from under Bak D. A awakened person with skills, even without using any, is much more robust than an ordinary person. He trembled, struggling to push himself up. An ordinary person simply couldn't withstand such a blow. New Van hurried over worriedly as he struggled to stand. She couldn't speak, only shook her head, mumbling and begging him. Lin Sin locked the door, his voice like a demon. "You really want to take a life?" "Bok." He slowly turned his head, reaching for a chair. "New Van, today, I found out you were pregnant with a son. I was truly happy, thinking finally the Bok family had a chance to carry on the lineage." Lin Ling dragged their chair in front of the two of them, saying those two bastards couldn't have a son, but Bok Lin Sin could. He lunged at Nu Van, shouting, "Only I can restore the Bok family's honor." Her eyes were full of despair. He still shouted loudly. "But why?" Lin Sin kept yelling, venting all his frustration on her, and it Awakens, that trashy green profession, the useless brat. Even the advanced stage couldn't do it. "It's all because of your pathetic jealousy." He raised the chair to smash down on Nu Van, who closed her eyes to endure the blow. Bokdi's system suddenly notified that his shield was full when speed reached 100%, enabling a flash effect to bypass obstacles ahead. Holding the sword in front, Bokdi protected Lin Sin, but got knocked away by one of his strikes. Bokdi's bloodied face loudly warned him not to touch her. A patch on his shoulder was torn from Bokdi's attack. Lin Sin looked at him with interest. Nu Van stood behind him, flustered and tears of fear streaming down. Lin Sin didn't expect him to dare resist. "So angry now, huh? Good, very good." He stormed toward Bokdi. Bokdi thought to himself he'd still need a moment, so he'd block him first. Lin Sin rushed over fearlessly and tightly grabbed Bokdi's sword. Bokdi's sword suddenly emitted a blue light. Then the system's voice said the timing of the counterattack was perfect, nullifying 100% damage in 0.09 seconds, with a chance to reflect physical damage back to the attacker. Before Bokdi could strike, Lin Sin broke his sword. Breaking through defense, Lin Sin struck Bokdi's chest, causing him to cough up blood. Directly breaking his defense, the power gap was many times greater. Now Lin Sin's strength increased even more. Bok Lin Sin, level 26 grade C warrior profession with electric attribute power, increased by 400%. Bokdi, weak and aching in his bones, felt like they were about to break. He still refused to give up, crossing both arms. Bokdi could only cover his head with his hands. Lin Sin angrily rushed over. Now the rebellious son dares to defy his father. Black Thunderbolt increased his movement speed, making all attacks have electric shock effect. Now he looked like a monster, eyes blazing red with a wide smile. "You're in a hurry, huh?" Bokdi seemed unwilling to resist anymore, knowing he absolutely couldn't dodge. Lin Sin suddenly stopped looking at him. "You've got some backbone, but what good is that? Such a weak profession. Even if you live, you'll just get beaten to death." Bokdi's eyes showed no fear as he stared straight at him. "In this life, I will never let any tragedy happen again." As he slowly dragged the iron chair forward, a knocking sound interrupted his voice. "Do you really think awakening is something great, Lin Sin?" He ignored it and still raised the chair above his head. "The two of you are so close now you can't even tell who the real boss is." Outside, the banging on the door grew louder. An urgent voice shouted, "Open the door quickly." "Help me!" The mother and daughter Bokdi trembled, hugging each other. Lin Sin, annoyed by the disturbance, angrily turned to see who was bothering his mother at this time. Bokdi rested her head on Nu Van's arm, a flicker of hope in her heart. "They're here." Lin Sin angrily flung open the door and shouted, "Who is it? Knock, damn it!" Lin Gang stood outside and asked him, "Why so long without opening?" "Were you busy?" Deputy Captain of the Inspection Team, a Divine Rank A in Red Lion Gang, Investigator of the Inspection Team, Divine Rank C in Blue. Tran Kimvu recognized the person immediately. Lin Sin stammered in reply, The Deputy Captain, why are you here?" He held up a wanted poster and explained his purpose. "We received reports that a wanted criminal named Snow has appeared near this building, so we're investigating every house. Have you seen anyone suspicious here?" The wanted poster showed an image of a highly dangerous criminal named Snow. Lin Sin laughed loudly to hide his fear. "That guy goes to the library every day. If he showed up, I'd definitely report him." Bokdi and Nu Van stood silently staring at them. Lin Gang pointed at Bokdi and asked, "Wait, is that your son?" Lin Sin stepped forward, patted him on the shoulder, and explained, That idiot isn't careful. I told him to go buy vegetables and he still managed to fall." "Deputy Captain, you don't need to worry about such a minor thing." He didn't hesitate to report. It wasn't because he was beaten by that man. Lin Sin turned back with a glare that seemed like he wanted to kill him immediately. Only a very few professions in the advancement path can trigger a second awakening based on their initial profession to increase combat strength. 18 minutes earlier downstairs, images of Bak D repeatedly using a public phone appeared. At that time, he reported, "I saw a person enter Building A of the Duyet Mansion. He looked exactly like the snow images online." But thinking back to that image, he couldn't help but feel afraid. Thoughts kept relentlessly attacking his mind. Before going upstairs, he had called the store across the street. So the inspection team would come up here soon. If the guard team had already received information about snow, they would definitely go all out. But unexpectedly, their investigation team arrived so quickly. However, the time was enough. Meanwhile, somewhere else, Lin Gang was continuously questioning the other party. Is what he's saying true? The person opposite him was Lin Sin. He kept smiling slyly and replied, "He's just joking with you. How could I do that to my own son? It's heartbreaking." Meanwhile, Bak D appeared from somewhere. His face was now covered in bruises. He muttered, "Arm hit by a chair head, hit by a wine bottle here, punched there, kicked. Every wound on my body can be forensically examined right now." This statement made Lin Sin and Li Nong freeze on the spot. They didn't even have a time to collect themselves. Bak D continued, "Awakened people sometimes exhibit uncontrollable violent behavior, intentionally harming others." Article 8. Clause 4 of the Divine Law on Managing Awakened Individuals clearly states that if the perpetrator poses a danger, they must be immediately detained and held in the awakened prison for 15 days. These words made Lin Gang and Kim Vu freeze on the spot. They looked at him in utter panic. Meanwhile, Lin Sin was extremely furious. He kept shouting loudly, "Bak D is your brain?" However, before he finished, Lin Gang interrupted him beside, "I am Lin Gang from the supervision team. I will arrest you according to the law. You have the right to remain silent." Immediately after, Lin Sin not only ignored the warning, but rushed fiercely toward Bak D, shouting in rage, "Damn it, you son of a bitch!" "Calm down. If you resist, we will have to use coercive measures." Fortunately, Kim Vu quickly pulled him away, but his ear-piercing shouts kept echoing, "Bak D, just you wait! Give me—" Kim Vu's voice snapped sharply, "Order!" Only then did the atmosphere quiet down a bit. Bak D suddenly turned around and softly called Mom. At this very moment, Nu Vun plunged forward to hug him tightly, responding with a choked voice, "Mom is okay now." Her somewhat hurried and flustered action made Bak D hold her in place, and he briefly fell into thought. "This time I protected Mom, I still have 15 days left." Then he softly comforted her. "Don't worry, Mom, this is the last time." Meanwhile, Bak D kept questioning himself. "I have enough time to become stronger." He gently clenched his fists in response to Nu Vun's loving embrace. However, Bak D's attention was drawn to the key hanging at her waist. He silently pondered, "This blow won't be in vain, I just stole his safe key." In an instant, Bak D had the key in his hand, staring at it with a faint, satisfied smile, his thoughts swirling. Back then, he didn't hesitate to stab his comrades in the back just to get that thing, the thing that helped him climb from the lowest E rank to the current C rank. Quickly, Bak D returned to his room, quietly approaching the cabinet in the corner. He slowly opened it with a thought constantly nagging at his mind. Usually, he hides it in the most secret safe in his private room. The key was now inserted into the lock. Bak D gently turned it, even hiding from his family. Bak D sat silently contemplating. "In my previous life, I only learned about this thing after he died." From the drawer, he quickly took out a new weapon, excitedly thinking, "With this, I can try soloing the demon beasts." Bak D's feet quickly moved to a spacious area where only demon beasts could level up professions, but now all demon beasts were under the control of the gods and only guild members could enter. "The only demon beasts I can access now are the ones managed by Trung." His determined eyes fixed forward, and the hidden demon beasts were all that he knew from his past life. Before Bak D now stood a dark old building seemingly abandoned for a long time, with demon beasts lurking appropriate to the difficulty level. Seeing this scene, he couldn't help but ponder, "I need to move faster than everyone else." His system suddenly notified, demon beasts are where monsters dwell. After entering a profession, can gain experience by fighting monsters, improving combat power and profession level EDCBA. 5/22/2105, Friday, 2202, Temporary Detention Room, Supervision Team. In a well-equipped room, several people were working busily, continuously discussing, "This time we've alerted the entire deputy guard squad." Even the deputy captain was mobilized, but in the end, nothing was found. Could it be false news? Meanwhile, Lin Sin was locked in a cell thinking, Whether true or false, as long as it involves a traitor, we absolutely cannot be lax. On the table lay a document, a mysterious figure, and on the day the team was founded, the appearance of the man named Snow in our province was indeed a big deal. Kim-Vu couldn't stop saying, "I heard the captain will return early this time, right?" Immediately after he received a response from Lin Yang. "This is not a matter for us to discuss." Suddenly, Lin Sin in the cell shouted loudly, attracting his attention. "Deputy Captain, please go first. This is my first time, I swear I won't repeat it." The man smiled mockingly. "I heard the Deputy Captain's wife is about to give birth. My good brothers are opening the best birthing center in the province." Then Li Yang suddenly stood up, showing disgust as he questioned back, "Are you trying to bribe the inspection team? Whatever you say, you used to be a member of the guild." After saying that, he immediately left the room. Why it reached this point today is unclear. Witnessing this, Lin Sin's hand gripping the bars trembled violently. He stammered, "Let me tell you." However, before he could finish, Kim-Vu beside him cut in with a satisfied smile. "If you're caught bribing, it won't be just detention. Go to sleep early because tomorrow you'll be transferred to the Awakening prison." Then he left the place instantly. "At this time, you should stay silent and calm." This scene enraged Lin Sin in the cell, and he kept shouting, "Bak Di!" Meanwhile, at Nu Vun's place, she lay quietly on the bed, her thoughts swirling. After 15 days, he will be released, so before then I need to get stronger as fast as possible. Meanwhile, Bak Di's room had been tidied long ago, but he was no longer there. Demon beasts are the only choice right now. Demon beasts can be born anywhere. It is a parallel space to our world. Now Bak Di is walking alone into the mysterious room. He can't help but ponder before stepping through the door that appeared out of nowhere to enter inside. His mind is constantly surrounded by famous figures. Most of the demon lairs, after being scouted, are occupied by guild teams. Not only that, but there are also giant beasts and numerous strange stones. Inside the demon lairs exist a large number of demon beasts and upgrade demon mineral resources. This is the best choice for awakened individuals to increase their power. Bak Di stands alone in the room, staring blankly for a long while. But demon lairs are extremely dangerous. Usually only after government reconnaissance can teams enter. He steps inside and gently places his hand on the hidden door on the wall. He cautiously inspects every corner. In his previous life, 5 years later, this demon lair was reported in the news because it had been lost for too long and remained undiscovered. Only when the demon tribe appeared infiltrating the human world was it discovered. Images of small creatures doing strange actions kept appearing in Bak Di's mind. A normal F-rank demon lair requires 3 E-rank awakened individuals. They keep making bizarre but somewhat cute postures. For an E-rank, it requires a team of 5 people, 3 E-rank and 2 D-rank. Back to reality, Bak Di quickly pushes the door open to enter. He cautiously judges this place. Based on the current time, this demon lair has a 90% chance of being F-rank. This is also the lowest hidden rank demon lair he can access right now. Inside is a blazing red scene. This is the entrance to the unexplored demon lair. Bak Di slowly reaches his hand toward the shadow before him. He keeps glancing around, pondering that demon lairs are full of dangers. They require cooperation of various elements and professions to form a team, increasing the chance of victory. But right now I have no choice. Soon after, Bak Di's innocent face turns colder than ever. I need to rely on the fastest solo speed to get stronger. Suddenly, the system announcement sounds non-stop. Entering Demon Lair Danger Coefficient, step through Bak Di Rank 1 level. E-Warrior Profession Core System. Attribute Energy Type, plus 100% Strength. 53 Stamina. 61 Elemental Power. 8 Speed. 41 Mental Strength. 11 Insight. 26 Skill Quick Upgrade. This place instantly sinks into coldness, causing Bak Di to unconsciously breathe out snowflakes. This makes him feel displeased. A land covered in ice and snow. I fear this place belongs to the cloud element demon beasts. In this desolate place, only Bak Di wanders alone. Shortly after, he sees a cloud element demon beast. This scene excites him, indicating someone has been here before. Bak Di stands there, panting, his cold gaze fixed forward. This is an E-rank level 8 original ice bear demon beast in hibernation. Suddenly, the cloud element demon beast stands up. Its action makes Bak Di panic. He quickly takes a defensive stance. There is a chance of being attacked. This is an E-rank demon lair. His scrutinizing eyes never leave the opponent. The cloud element demon beast suddenly lunges toward him, forcing him to calculate cautiously. Probably because most of them are hibernating, I wasn't detected. Another bloodline wolf level 2 E-rank cloud element demon beast. Even a wolf ranks higher than me. The face of the cloud element demon beast is now full of anger. It keeps baring sharp fangs and growling. Immediately after, Bak D reacts. He quickly leaves his original position, but in a flash, the cloud element demon beast charges only to be wounded by his sword tip. It quickly retreats, surprising Bak D. However, the cloud element demon beast shows no intention of giving up. It keeps staring at him. Its gaze now emits a strong, sharp aura. Immediately after, Bak D dashes toward it at an astonishing speed. In an instant, the cloud element demon beast is defeated by him. He just collapsed to the ground under Bak D's cold gaze. This scene inevitably made him fall into deep thought. The A-grade weapon hidden in that old man's safe is not sold on the market. It just so happens that it can supplement his current lack of combat power. The A-grade Ngo spear Bak D received was crafted from extremely sharp Ngo stone. It cuts iron like mud. Strength plus 150, insight plus 50, stamina plus 100, life steal plus 20%, defense penetration plus 20%. But the defense of this wild beast is quite high. Even if aimed at its weak spot, it would take 3 or 4 strikes to finish it. Suddenly, Bak D's body deflated like a balloon losing air. He wilted and said he was starting to remember the days when he was at level L again. Suddenly, the system's incoming information made him reflect to advance from E-rank profession to the next level requires killing about 20 wolves. Experience gained 52 points. Profession experience level 1, 102 out of 1,000 accumulated. Element defeating an opponent of E-rank cloud system granted 50 cloud element points. Electric element, fire element, cloud element, core element, star element. To upgrade the snow wolf from E-rank to D-rank requires 10 levels. Suddenly, a loud noise from somewhere caught Bak D's attention. The system explained one by one bloodthirsty forest wolf E-rank demon beast of the cloud system. Bloodthirsty forest wolf level 2 E-rank. This situation made Bak D think silently that the scent of blood had lured them here. His face showed a bit of awkwardness as he thought, already trying to surround me as soon as I arrived. In an instant, Bak D left this place. At the same time, the cloud system demon beasts kept charging toward him. Critical strike to a weak spot, this made Bak D quickly slash forward to dodge. The scene here was extremely chaotic. Counter-attacking repeatedly, Bak D triggered constant system notifications. Critical strike to a weak spot. Dodge. Counterattack. Critical strike to a weak spot. Even he couldn't avoid getting excited and silently calculated that he had one final move left. Immediately after, Bak D leapt high into the air and spun around looking very skillful. At the moment, a brilliant light punched forcefully into the ground. The system sent news successfully killed. A bloodthirsty forest wolf gained 52 experience points. Successfully killed a bloodthirsty forest wolf. You received 18 snow wolf fangs. Each slash from Bak D felled a cloud system demon beast, the level 4 bloodthirsty wolf king. E-rank cloud system demon beasts. The system's information amazed him. There was still one more wolf king. Bak D's eyes grew increasingly wild. He defeated a series of fierce beasts before him in the blink of an eye. Successfully killed the bloodthirsty wolf king. Gained 56 experience points. Received 1 snow wolf diamond. This made Bak D even more excited and thoughtful. At this rate, he would easily advance to D-rank. Suddenly, the system's voice sounded continuously. Level 1 experience points 1,094 out of 100. You have advanced to level 2. E-rank received 12 bonus points. Please proceed to allocate points. You have advanced to level 2. E-rank received 15 bonus points. Please proceed to allocate points immediately. At this moment, Bak D was exhausted and stretched his hand forward. A sudden thought overwhelmed his entire mind. Clearly, he had only killed 20 wolves, and yet he was already this tired. Although Bak D had escaped the danger from the cloud system demon beasts chasing him, the leech-like parasites had been defeated earlier. The stamina of an E-rank body was still too weak. He needed to find a way to get a dimensional backpack. Otherwise, he would have to leave behind many dropped items. He stared intently at the gem in his hand, feeling quietly pleased. Most demon beasts are exclusively owned by the guild, so those awakened outside the guild find it difficult to level up. Suddenly, the system transmitted new information. Snow wolf. Diamond, an extremely durable diamond, can be used as a special material to craft weapons. The market price is about NDT 10,000. After a moment of contemplation, Bak D dragged his feet and left this place with a troubled mind. To have a chance to access advanced magic, joining the Gods Guild is the only option. The Awakening School directly under the Gods Guild is used to screen and select talents. At the same time, somewhere else an army was standing in neat rows. Most students' dreams are to graduate with honors and be chosen by the guild. The image of Lin Sin kept flashing through Bak D's mind, making him even angrier. and if kicked out of the team, it would mean he might never advance further in his lifetime. After he was expelled from the guild, he was forever stuck at grade C. Suddenly, he turned sharply behind with a cold gaze. Grinding levels alone is still too slow. Besides, the temperature here is too low. The longer you stay, the more energy you lose. A pack of wolves kept clinging to him like hungry leeches. They kept making fierce faces. This made Bak D change his mind. So the next second, he ran like the wind away from the wild beasts. On the escape route, he kept striking backward. Bak D's moves made the ancient trees around start to topple in an instant. However, this was the only way to escape the pursuit of the wild beasts in the deep forest. The sounds changed to harsh grating noises. Suddenly, a giant python appeared ahead. The system indicated it was being attracted. Its presence made the wild wolves hesitate. They only dared to stand there growling continuously. Being attracted. Being attracted. Suddenly, Bak D's footsteps stopped. He stared ahead, breathing heavily. As soon as the system recognized the surrounding scene of Bak D, it kept sending announcements. Using the fastest solution will do. Level 4, Cloud Python Grade E. Level 4, Bloodthirsty Forest Wolf Grade E. Suddenly, a loud explosion rang out along with a blazing light in the sky. It successfully attracted the attention of the beasts. Not only that, it also caught Bak D's attention. He glanced up with thoughts rushing through his mind. The recent commotion was enough to awaken all the beasts, and it would awaken in the blink of an eye. The wild beasts were struck down flat by a huge foot. None other than the Cloud Bear Ice Origin awakened beast level 8 Grade E. The Cloud Beast in an angry state attacks indiscriminately with 20% additional damage. It didn't hesitate to raise its sharp claws high. With a ferocious appearance, the angry Ice Origin Bear, the Cloud Beast was channeling its rage at the wild beasts. This scene made Bak D reflect deeply. It would attack indiscriminately. Seeing this, the system quickly delivered a new announcement. Successfully killed a bloodthirsty forest wolf. Gained 52 experience points. Successfully killed a bloodthirsty forest wolf. Gained 52 experience points. You received 2 snow wolf fangs. Successfully killed a cloud python. Gained 56 experience points. Received 1 cloud python fang. The chaotic scene before him caused Bak D to fall into deep thought. He told himself to just dodge to the side while looking for an opening. Shortly after, the system brought a lot of good news. Successfully killed a cloud python. Gained 56 experience points. Successfully killed a bloodthirsty forest wolf. Gained 52 experience points. Successfully killed a cloud python. Gained 56 experience points. Bak D continued to move through the dangerous scene. Meanwhile, the cloud beast kept roaring. Although Grade E beasts are fierce, basically they have no brains. Has leveled up to level 4 Grade E. Gained 12 bonus points. Please proceed with distribution. This bear not only helps me attract fire, but also saves most of my energy. Suddenly, a savage snake beast appeared in Bak D's sight, causing him to halt his steps. But if I want the experience points to drop on me, right after that, he didn't hesitate to deliver a critical strike towards it. Then I still need to last hit. The pack of wild wolves kept relentlessly chasing Bak D. It seemed like they were trying to get a few coins from him. Meanwhile, he sat there, breathing heavily. A sudden thought quickly engulfed his entire mind. Even with the bear's help, it was still very exhausting. Bak D decisively swung the sword in his hand with force. His eyes flashed with cold, heartless bloodlust. Then it's time to move on to the next act. He was ready to fight the ferocious beasts in front of him. After the battle caused too much damage, his endurance was almost at its limit. Bak D's face had now become terrifying. The ice beneath him kept cracking non-stop. In the blink of an eye, the beasts in front of him charged all at once without hesitation. Meanwhile, Bak D showed no sign of fear. He slashed and stabbed the sword hard into the ice with the thought, "Then come down with me." Immediately after, the beasts in front of him were quickly obstructed. Throughout the battle, I kept observing the surrounding environment. This is not a frozen lake. In a few short seconds, the ice cracked. The beasts quickly fell through below, according to Bak D's calculation. This is actually an ice bridge connecting 2 valleys. The system quickly announced, successfully killed the bloodthirsty wild wolf. Gained 52 experience points. Not just one announcement, it brought many other updates. As soon as everything ended, Bak D coldly turned his back and left. You have leveled up to level 7. Grade E received 12 bonus points. Please proceed with distribution. Received Snow Wolf Fang X3. Received Snow Wolf Diamond X3. Received Cloud Serpent Fang X8. However, Death had not yet recorded his name in the death register, so he still couldn't resist a cloud-type beast rushing at him like an arrow. This scene made Bak D extremely panicked. In this way, most of the beasts were dealt with in just a few seconds. It stood blocking his path. The remaining stamina was just enough to deal with the rest. This scene made Bak D reflect deeply. This is the fastest way for me to level up. Achieve the title of defeating one enemy while facing many foes. All stats will increase by 10%. He stood firm like that. Beasts in front, a cliff behind. But at the start I was thinking about a question. In every demon pack there is always a boss leader. Bak D stood there with a serious face. He said the E-grade demon pack leader is probably like the ruthless master at level 10. With all this commotion, hasn't it been enough to awaken it yet? Suddenly the beasts in front, under the guidance of the cloud-type beast, continuously paced back and forth as if blocking Bak D's path to survival. Why hasn't it appeared until now? Then they roared a thunderous roar. This sound caught Bak D's attention. He looked to the side in shock. This is ice magic. Strange lights began to appear in the air. No, I was wrong. That strange thing quickly rushed toward him. In just a few beats, Bak D's footing lost momentum and he fell backward. At this moment, he was forced to the edge of the cliff. A sudden thought flashed through his mind. It's not that it hasn't awakened, but that it's waiting for the right opportunity. Fortunately, the rays of light earlier struck the cloud-type beast, freezing it momentarily. It wants to wait until all of us have exhausted most of our stamina, then it will rush here. However, it's not going to let Bak D go easily. This forced him to dash forward like a storm to avoid disaster. An opportunity that cannot be escaped. It's really bad luck when his feet haven't even lifted off before the cold grip surrounds him. Bak D stood there stunned. His panicked eyes quickly scanned the surroundings. At that moment, a thought quickly overwhelmed his mind. The ice bridge is also the trap it created. Ice rapidly spread over Bak D's entire body in just a few seconds. It only needs to appear at the last minute. The fisherman benefits. This made him extremely angry. In such a low-level cave, there is actually a boss hidden inside. Behind him, a strange pack of demonic beasts was advancing toward him. This scene caused Bak D to fall into deep thought. The domain leader has intelligence level 11. Level D, magic system Van. Demonic domain leader Lord Thuong Lam, level 10. Level E, battle demon system Van. Deputy General Demon Hound Thuong Lam, level 10. Level E, battle demon system. Van. Deputy General Demon Hound Thuong Lam, the leader, kept looking at Bak D with a twisted smile. His body still couldn't move. That was like dangling bait in front of a cat. Suddenly, the system announced a hidden peak frost bone demon of level E. Special demon exists. The domain leader has commanding intelligence level 11. Level D magic system Van. Lord Thuong Lam high danger risk level. 5 challengers of level E3 of level D. In the cold of the ice and snow, everything seemed frozen in place. Yet there was a group of creatures that could still move normally. 2:01:05 a.m. early Saturday morning. 2:10 in the hidden demon level F. This scene made Bak D fall into a reflective state, completely frozen. At this rate, his body temperature would soon drop low. Lost. A skinny hand was stretching forward endlessly. Its owner was none other than Lord Thuong Lam. He suddenly snorted coldly. Immediately after, a demonic beast quickly lunged toward Bak D. Facing this scene, he couldn't help but angrily think, looks like this is the only way. Meanwhile, the demonic beast kept attacking Bak D relentlessly. In the blink of an eye, the cold ice block in front of him shattered completely. This scene stunned the demonic beast. Even Lord Thuong Lam was startled. Bak D didn't know how he had escaped the ice's restraint. He kept attacking the enemy. Suddenly, the system announced choosing the right timing to block precisely can eliminate 100% of damage within 0.09 seconds. There is a chance that physical damage will be completely reflected back to the opponent. However, some wounds appeared on his body at this time. He thought silently using all his strength to break the ice will consume a lot of stamina. The system noted that a awakened user using all their energy has a chance to instantly break free from control, but it consumes a lot of energy. Bak D struggled, wiping each drop of ketchup from the corner of his mouth, his eyes fixed firmly ahead. To be able to launch such a strong magical attack again, a certain amount of time is needed. This scene made Lord Thuong Lam feel excited. He kept raising his hand to the sky and laughed loudly in satisfaction, thinking he had to kill it while he had the chance. Suddenly, his skinny hand clenched tightly, an action that seemed like a command, causing the Van system demonic beast to break free from the ice's binding. It roared continuously. These things made Bak D furious. He kept staring ahead. The Van system demonic beast was now stepping toward him, an ice bear calm, level 8, level E. Van system demonic beast. The moment Bak D faced it, he remained extremely calm and thoughtful. The core system is the counter to the Van system, but at some moment he flipped his eyes filled with extreme rage. Moreover, with his current stamina, it would be very hard to defeat those two monkeys. The demonic beasts before him were swarming toward Bok D, like level 11 UN troops, level D magic system, Van Domain leader, Lord Thuong Lam, Ice Bear calm level 8 level E, Van system demonic beast. Level 2, bloodthirsty wolf E-rank cloud-type demon beast. Level 10, cloud-type demon beast. E-rank, cloud-type war demon, lieutenant demon hound, Thunglum. Level 10, E-rank, cloud-type war demon, lieutenant demon hound, Thunglum. If there were even more of them, they would have quickly charged at the enemy right away. Faced with this scene, Bok D could only helplessly raise his hands to defend, so the odds of winning were none. But it seemed he still lost momentum, and accidentally fell backward, taking the opportunity for the demon beast in front to strike hard at Bok D. Although knocked back, he quickly regained composure, sitting on the ground with a cool demeanor. Bok D gritted his teeth and said he couldn't do anything. Suddenly, a cloud-type demon beast rushed over quickly, continuously opening its mouth wide. In that moment, Bok D could only grit his teeth and watch the opponent charge helplessly. The cloud-type demon beast swiftly launched a critical strike at him, but luckily Bok D was able to dodge it easily. His face showed a hint of fear. The environment was too cold and his stamina was nearly at its limit. Under the control of Lord Thunglum, the cloud-type demon beast advanced fiercely without hesitation. This scene made him excited enough to sneer. Suddenly the system announced a violent ice raid, but Bok D just stood there dazed, wondering why does its skill cooldown recover so fast. His eyes widened terrifyingly, but soon after Bok D regained his spirit and stared seriously at the opponent. But in front of him was nothing but ferocious beasts. In his past life, he often faced many difficulties. Through many struggles, he developed the ability to sense opportunities. He had two choices. Bok D hurriedly smashed the ice blocking his path. Choice 1, stay and keep fighting, but his stamina was maxed out. Even after taking all the damage, he'd still have to fight many high-level demon beasts. His face showed hesitation as he looked ahead. The chance of survival was 0. Then the scene showed Bok D running for his life. Choice 2. He didn't hesitate to jump over the abyss behind him, leaping up in just a few beats. However, things didn't stop there. The ice and snow caught up with him, continuously freezing his body. Within a few seconds, Bok D was frozen again. This scene stunned Lord Thunglum. Even the cloud-type demon beast looked terrified as it stared at Bok D. The ice block containing Bok D was unlucky and started falling off the steep cliff. This made him scared out of his wits. Soon after, Bok D fell near the bottom of the abyss, which was full of sharp ice spikes. Back in the beloved home. Still in the familiar room, Nu Vun gently pushed the door open and stepped inside, feeling helpless. He always sleeps this long on weekends. But the scene inside scared her badly. It was a room arranged neatly and tidily. 205-23-5, Saturday 70 Yozo a.m. at 2 Duyet Mansion. Mrs. Nu Vun tightly clutched the crumpled paper in her hand. On it said the mother and child went to a friend's house and would come home late. Don't worry, Mom. These words frightened her, and she kept denying no. If he went to a friend's house, he would definitely tell me and wouldn't leave a note. Suddenly, Nu Vun looked up with the thought, "Little Dai, what's wrong with you?" She recalled Bok D's innocent image and couldn't help but feel heartbroken. Since yesterday, he's been like a completely different person at home. So why do I feel so anxious and uneasy? Back to Bok Vai's place, under the icy water, something covered in ketchup floated by. It just drifted away, not knowing how far. This made Bok V recall the earlier image when other demon beasts fell into the abyss with him when the ice bridge broke. Clearly, nearly 100 demon beasts had fallen. At that time, he was helplessly clutching a nearby ice ledge to survive, coughing dryly. The earlier image of the system saving him flashed back in Bok C's mind. Now he is very tired, grabbing onto anything protruding from the ice to avoid drifting away with the current. But at that time, I only reached level 3, which means only about 60 of them were killed. Once again, the image of himself falling into the abyss appeared in his mind, so the remaining 40 must still be alive at the bottom of the cliff. At that moment, Bok D's eyes were filled with determination. He was certain to survive, and did not hesitate to break through the ice that was restraining him. Just like that, his whole body fell freely into the icy water below. Then choice 2 was his only chance of survival. Back in reality, Bok D lay exhausted in one place. But he broke the ice once more and had almost completely drained his energy. Low body temperature, continuous blood loss, weakened state. Moreover, falling from such a height into the river caused severe injuries to his body. His breath grew weaker and weaker. Like that, Bok D closed his eyes, surrendering to fate. Is this the end? Bok D lay there with a sword in hand, isolated in the snowy wind. The system continuously sent out danger signals. Low temperature, continuous blood loss, weakened state. Suddenly, a fierce beast appeared, opening its large jaws wide. A Level 9 Ice River Overlord E-grade beast of the Cloud system. It fiercely charged toward the spot where Bak D was lying. In a daze, he slipped into a hallucination. A teasing voice mocked him, "Kid, you're back. Why not come find me for a drink?" Amlak smiled brightly and opened her arms, calling him. Bak D hugged her, and the little mischievous one invited him. Boss, tonight, let's sneak out for foie gras." Lucien pointed at the board. "Help me check this data about Bak D. What does it mean? Hurry over and take a look." Nuvan worriedly used sign language to ask about her head wound. "Does it hurt a lot?" Lord Thuonglam's eyes blazed red. He smiled with hatred and cursed, "Go to hell, God," making a gun gesture with his hand. They also wished him gone. Go to hell. The others whispered into his mind, "Go to hell." They all insulted Bakshi. "That's all you are." By this time, his consciousness had returned, and he deceived himself. "There will be no end. I can't have an end." The fierce beast lunged right in front of Bakshi. Any regrets from past lives surfaced. Seeing it charging at him, he pushed it back with force. His eyes mirrored the beast's astonishment, filled with angry blood vessels. Bak D's eyes glowed golden, as if saying to himself, "I absolutely will never let that happen again." The beast trembled with clenched fangs. "I've already lost once." His bloodied face still tried to resist. "I have died once." Bak D pulled his leg back, preparing to strike. He spun and kicked the beast's fang away. "I absolutely will not die again." It was kicked, flying over 10 meters. Bak D landed, holding the knife, having fully regained his strength. He exhaled a cold breath with difficulty. The beast kicked far away, hurriedly charged back to attack. Bak D stood up, his whole body radiating golden light, standing majestically before it. He muttered, "Only absolute despair can activate career advancement." He made his decision to grind solo to attract demon beasts. Jumping off the cliff, a pack of hungry wolves awaited with open jaws. Behind and in front of Bak D were demon beasts of various ranks. They surrounded him, not allowing him to escape. Level 7. Ice Bear E-grade Demon Beast of the Cloud System. Level 2. Bloodthirsty Wolf. E-grade Demon Beast of the Cloud System. Level 9. Ice River Overlord E-grade Fierce Beast of the Cloud System. The Cloud System demon beasts now had 2 of their fangs broken by him. They roared angrily. He recalled the scene of watching Lin Sin despairingly pushing himself into despair just to regain the feeling he once had. Because he had experienced extreme despair, adrenaline was fully activated. The system continuously updated that feeling, increasing adrenaline power. That feeling had returned. Adrenaline activated career advancement, but due to insufficient conditions, the career advancement attempt failed. He had learned the Holy Swordsman Core System Advanced Skill. Bak D's eyes flickered as if he became a different person, but his rational mind was still his own. Still, it wasn't enough to advance his career. Yet somehow he had obtained this ultimate skill before. He pointed his sharp blade toward the golden light. Now his whole body is surrounded by this light. His current state is already, "I will clean you all up." Having experienced the great catastrophe, his adrenaline is fully activated. Tick, 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 tick. Due to insufficient conditions, the career advancement failed. Learned the advanced core skill of the Holy Swordsman system. Tick, tick, tick. His eyes, full of hatred, looked toward the ghost beasts and monsters. Bak D pointed directly at the ghost beast of the cloud system, making it cry out in fear. He swung the sword behind while chanting, "One-sided cloud beast guardian, fearless, rush forward to offer your life." One swing of his sword swept through a circle, causing the monsters to retreat fearfully into the purified land. Bak D's hair fell to one side, revealing a cold, sharp eye. With just one strike, every beast was either injured or killed. The system continuously announced rewards. Successfully killed a bloodthirsty wolf, received 52 experience points. Successfully killed an icefield bear, received 64 experience points. Successfully killed a bloodthirsty wolf, received 52 experience points. Successfully killed a bloodthirsty wolf, received 52 experience points. Successfully killed a bloodthirsty wolf, received 52 experience points. Successfully killed a bloodthirsty wolf, received 52 experience points. The Ice River Overlord now lies silently on the ground, losing all its ferocity. Successfully killed the Ice River Overlord, received 66 experience points. He looked at his hand as streams of power flowed through it. The system continuously reported, "After the battle. Just now received Bloody Blood. Received Icefield Beast. Received 2 Proud Bear Bones, upgraded to level 8 grade E. Received 12 bonus points. Please distribute." One-sided purified land activates effects to dispel fatigue and restore stamina. Received 16 Snow Wolf teeth, received 16 Snow Wolf diamonds. His hand clenched in determination. Next, received the Icefield Wanderer title. Plus 100 resistance against cloud system creatures, reduced freezing damage, learned the ultimate skill, one-sided purified land. He looked up above the abyss. Time to return and gather you all. The system updated his increased attributes. Bok D level 8 grade E warrior career of the core system. Attributes power increased by 100%. 113, 150 stamina. 71 100 elemental power. 12 speed. 51 insight. 26 plus 50 spirit. 11 skills at current speed. Weapon A grade and go stone blade staff extremely sharp. Can cut iron like cutting mud. Power plus 150. Insight plus 50. Stamina plus 100. Life steal plus 20%. Defense penetration plus 20%. The corpses of monsters lay scattered across the ice. Successfully killed a bloodthirsty wolf. Received 52 experience points. Leveled up to level 9 grade E. Received 12 bonus points. Please distribute. Bok D turned away and wiped the bloodstains off his sword with a cloth. After reaching level 8 grade E, I can clearly feel that killing grade E monsters has become extremely easy. Activating the Icefield Wanderer effect, 100. Resistance against cloud system creatures, reduced freezing damage, and now I hardly feel cold anymore. He stood looking up above the abyss. The one-sided purified land can store all accumulated damage and release it to the entire group at once. And only after I accumulate enough fatigue and damage can I activate it. Bok D clung to one side of the cliff. Thanks to it, my strength has now fully recovered. Activated one-sided purified land effect. Removed fatigue and restored stamina. He quickly used his strength to cling to the rock and climb up. I don't even know how long I've been in this demon prison. I have to hurry back, otherwise Mom will worry. Cold gusts in the snowstorm rose one after another. Amid the snowstorm appeared a house with no doors or windows. Lord Thuong Lam sat silently inside the house. He sat curled up as if sleeping with his eyes closed. Suddenly, something startled him awake, and he opened his glowing red eyes. Gusts of snow blew inside the house. Bok D stepped onto the bodies of the fierce beasts. Meeting again, the system continuously updates the achievements. Level 10. Rank E. The highest level of Rank E. Successfully killed the Ice Origin Bear. Calmly received 64 experience points. 11 p.m. Saturday, 5/23/2105. Inside the Tzu Yu Ru Yun household, she looked out the window with a worried heart. Where on earth did he go? She stood silently looking outside and waiting. Why has he been gone so long? On the table, dishes were steaming hot. Ru Yun silently prayed that absolutely nothing bad had happened. Fierce beasts jumped down from a broken spot. A cloud-type demon beast lay collapsed on the ground after being attacked by another. A large demon beast fell, causing the roof to collapse. Bok D went to the Lord Thuong Lam's house but was blocked by 3 or 4 fierce beasts. He climbed onto the large cloud-type demon beast. Lord Thuong Lam pointed at him. His eyes were blazing red. His face looked pleased. A demon beast climbed up on his command. It swung its arm toward Bok D, ready to strike. When he saw it, his eyes turned into those of a fierce beast. He raised his sword and sliced through the demon beast's arm. Its arm was instantly severed. The system announced the successful elimination of Thuong Lam Demon Ape. Received 70 experience points. Lord Thuong Lam saw his close subordinate taken down in an instant and finally felt fear. He angrily unleashed a violent ice burst. Bok D Immune charged forward without a scratch. He lunged toward Lord Thuong Lam. The immunity effect resisting cloud-type attacks was activated successfully, freezing him. Damage taken was minimized. Seeing this, he was scared and wanted to flee. He pulled something out of his pocket. The Thuong Lam demon apes charged fiercely without fear, but something blocked them. Bok D's face was cold. Die, look at them, I just need to deal with you. He passed through them like a gust of wind. Thanks to the system, he could already reach rank D blink. When speed increases to 100%, the instant blink effect activates, allowing the user to pass through obstacles ahead. The arm holding Lord Thuong Lam's staff was severed. His face was full of horror and pain as he looked at him. He jumped up in pain, screaming non-stop. Blood splattered on Lord Thuong Lam's terrified face. Bok D looked at him coldly as if he were an enemy. He coldly said goodbye to him. Countless sharp knife strikes were slashed onto his body. Bok D descended from above. After hearing the system's mission success notification, successfully defeated the Cloud Magic System Level 11 Rank D, leader of the Thuong Lam clan. Received 1,000 experience points. The demon beasts were stunned and stood still without their leader. The system continued reporting success, upgrading him to a Rank D Core System Warrior. Rank D Core System Warrior gets a 100% boost to all attributes. Currently at level 11, gaining an additional 12 points to value. Item available for collection. Enough cloud elements have accumulated. A new profession is about to unlock. The rustling sound caught his attention. Enough cloud elements have accumulated. A new profession is about to unlock. Bak D only now realized, recalling he had been so focused on fighting, he had completely forgotten about this. Already accumulated enough cloud elements. Before he finished speaking, the system understood his meaning. Then I have successfully obtained the Cloud Mage profession at level 1. Profession can be switched anytime. He looked at the screen in front of him, amazed at this power. The red profession, even though only rank E, has a 200% inherent power boost. The stats even rival my current rank D warrior. On the icy ground where he stood were countless corpses and numerous weapons and gear. Rank D Mage of Demon Stone increases elemental power by 40 points and spirit power by 40 points. Can extend the magic range by 50%. A level D magic bag can hold up to 20 items. Bak D bent down to pick up the things that had fallen from Lord Thuong Lam. Now there is a red aura of power surrounding him. Bak D's voice was full of curiosity. If that's the case, his hand holding the power reached out to deal with the remaining soldiers. The system has successfully switched to Cloud Mage mode. Bak D held the staff powerfully like a leader. Let me try this new profession I've never played before and see how it is. 5 a.m. Sunday, 5/24/2105, at Tu Duit New Van's house, she sat silently on the sofa. She hugged her own arms, her expression unreadable. It was unclear whether she was crying or worried. Bak D arrived home and gently cracked open the door, not rushing to enter. Her tear-streaked face widened when Van saw her son and quickly stood up to rush over. Bak D stepped in, holding a bag of items, speaking apologetically. "Mom, I'm sorry to keep you waiting." Nu Van rushed to hug him tightly. Seeing her cry, he awkwardly asked, "Han, have you been waiting for me all along? You haven't eaten yet either." He hesitated a moment, then said, "Mom, I have a proposal. Do you want to hear it?" Without waiting for Van to answer, he said, "Let's move out far away from him forever." Bak D thought to himself, with this magic bag aside from the necessary weapons, I brought out over 10 of the most valuable items. Cut scene, he was taking the precious diamond to sell. Bak D handed it to the buyer for inspection. The buyer examined it carefully, then smiled, slyly satisfied, and offered an 800 diamond. "Leave it to me for later." Bak D didn't let him finish, and immediately offered 8,000. The buyer was extremely shocked by that price. "Are you kidding? Just for a diamond like this, you want that much?" Bak D didn't beat around the bush, took the diamond back. "If you don't want it, I'll go." Then the two began to haggle. "Wait, you can't just shout sky-high prices. 2,000 yuan, I'll take all your stock. 5,000. 3,000 per stone, no higher. 6,000, why are you raising the price again? 7,000, then fine, 7,000, don't shout anymore." Finally, he closed the deal smoothly. Bak D happily carried the money home. In my past life, I knew quite a few magic mineral traders. These things can sell for a good price. He didn't forget to count the money he received, thinking as he walked, "I can use this to rent a pretty good house for Mom." Bak D could now buy Nu Van a nice house. In the past life, she never had a peaceful day. She happily admired the house. "This life, I just want her to enjoy a peaceful life." The landlord was delighted and praised him wholeheartedly. "You're straightforward and decisive. Now you and your mother have a home of your own." 8 p.m. Sunday, 5/24/2105. In the rented house, Nu Van was in a good mood, singing while cooking dinner. It had been a long, long time since she last smiled so gently. Bak D was in his room, sitting and organizing everything. "The house issue is settled. I've leveled up to D and got a new profession." He was sitting, sharpening the diamond, but the enemy was still in prison, so he couldn't let his guard down. Bak D looked at it for a while. "Until this is completely resolved, I can't take revenge recklessly." Then he wore it on his hand. "I have to go back to school tomorrow." Level D Magic Spirit Stone. A magic power stone that can be sharpened and carried, adds 40 elemental force, 40 spiritual force, and can increase magic range by 50%. He was also in a very good mood now, able to go find that thing. 8 p.m. Sunday, 5/24/2105, elsewhere. Quang Thin and a group of underlings returned home through a space door. He was very unhappy. One praised, "Young master has improved a lot." His sister, seeing him return, brought him water. "Brother, rest a bit." Kwang Thin sharply knocked the cup away, shattering it. He even blamed her, "Use the remaining time to train more with the next demon." He confidently thought, "No one can improve faster than me." The successful upgrade manual to level E third-tier assassin in the combat simulation test, I will show everyone who the real genius is. Elsewhere. M6 stood alone, quietly reading documents, evaluating, "This new batch of awakeners has no golden professions at all." A terrifying aura radiated from her. She was disappointed and discouraged. Looks like this simulation test is nothing to look forward to. 7:30 a.m. Monday, 5/25/2105. In the rented house today, Nu Van cooked many delicious dishes, just sitting and smiling gently while watching her son. Bhakti hurriedly ate breakfast and complained, "Mom, why didn't you wake me up?" She sincerely replied, "I saw you sleeping so peacefully, I really couldn't bring myself to wake you." Then, like Van, she patted her little son's head and advised, "Eat slowly. It's okay to be a little late sometimes." He suddenly remembered and responded with a gentle smile. "That's true. It's been a long time since I had such a peaceful sleep, and I've never had breakfast with you so calmly before." Suddenly, like Van patted his shoulder. Bhakti was startled and asked, "Mom, what's wrong?" She showed great care for her son as if it were a hobby. "Do you want anything? Toys, books, or some electronic device?" He laughed loudly when his mother asked, "Mom, do you suddenly want to give me a gift?" "What's going on?" Like Van pointed to the calendar as a reminder, "Next Friday is your birthday." Bhakti was startled and suddenly realized, nodding slowly, thinking to himself, "So June 5th is my birthday." He clenched his fist and stopped eating halfway. "It's been so long since anyone organized a birthday for me after my mother passed away in my past life. Gradually, I forgot this day. What do I want?" Then Bhakti took a big bite of the bun to hide the bitterness and asked himself what he truly longed for. He looked at like Van and decided on that precious thing, "What I desire most, I have already obtained." Bhakti still kept his head down, holding the half-eaten bun. Next, he had to complete his next goal. His expression suddenly changed to one filled with intense determination and killing intent to kill him. Bhakti remembered that monster. The secondary school affiliated with the Awakened ones had just started school when the teacher asked with concern, "Han, little chicks, everyone must have rested well over the weekend, right?" The teacher seriously announced, "Next it's time to enter the hellish simulated combat training phase. Surely no one doesn't know the importance of simulated combat." Bhakti was present listening to the teacher's briefing. The secondary school affiliated with the Awakened, we are the secondary division under the Divine Chi Guild. The guild will always monitor our every move. Every student was excited to hear that as simulated combat was the first stage for everyone to showcase their skills. After this awakening battle will be regarded as the middle school graduation exam will have the entire process broadcast live. The teacher raised an important point. More importantly, the person with the best performance in this simulation will have the chance to join the high school division on the Chi Journey Pilgrimage. He explained that the Chi Journey Pilgrimage is the closest opportunity to directly interact with the Divine Chi Guild, which only happens once a year. And he didn't forget to mention the school tournament for the top students from both middle and high school to attend the Divine Chi Guild's headquarters in St. Ha country. Bhakti stood listening and pondered what the teacher had just said. The Divine Chi Guild's headquarters in St. Ha country reminded him of that mysterious person. That was where I met my master, but there were many unresolved matters. It was also where that person was born, but he and my master never had any connection. He only joined after I had already entered the Divine Chi Battalion. Bhakti was determined and could not delay. To find him now, I have to score high on this exam to sneak into the Chi Journey Pilgrimage, which is the fastest way. The students were excitedly chatting about this Friday being the simulated combat. Both scared and excited, their blood was boiling. They heard the simulation would involve entering the demon realm. Could we really do it? The teacher then pointed at the door and gave the order. Then let's officially start the training now. The first stage physical training. This is the gravity room. Everyone must first do 10 laps of directional running. Everyone was excitedly following the teacher. The fiery young man was pumped up. I'll do 20 laps then. Suddenly, Bok D had something to say. He also lined up and moved outside in turn, but then stopped and stood beside the teacher. He came forward to ask permission. "Teacher, I don't want to use this training room."